Today, we're going to talk about the quantum physics of manifestation and why it's not your thoughts, but it is your frequency that creates your reality. Let's begin.
Are you ready to shine? Come on, it's the shiny one.
You got this. My dear shiny mind, you who's watching, may I invite you to hit that subscribe button? This way, you and I are going to become partners in shine and elevate the consciousness in the world. Thank you so much in advance, and I'll see you inside. Welcome to the Shiny Minds Show with Dr. Shiny. I am Dr. Shiny. For those of you who don't know me, I am the founder of the Academy of Neuro-Shine Technology. I am the producer and the creator of this Shiny Minds Show. And I am an ICF Master Certified Coach with more than 3,000 hours of coaching experience. And I received the Distinguished Coach Educator Runner-Up Award from the International Coaching Federation. I have been certifying NLP practitioners and master practitioners since the year of 2011. So that makes me a licensed trainer of neuro-linguistic programming from the original genius, Dr. Richard Bandler, since 2011. And I also have the corporate background of a decade, having worked with the biggest brands in the entire world, like Coca-Cola and Gillette and Audi and Burger King and Avon and Kotex. And then I loved doing branding and marketing and communication mastery. And that's why I ended up creating my own brand, my own company, neuro-shine Technology, and the Academy of Neuro-Shine Technology. And today I want to talk about how I created my own reality with the frequency that I have been radiating. And it is not really the thoughts that you need to pay attention to. It is actually your frequency that you need to understand. And I want to break it down to the real science, the physics of it, and also the quantum physics of it, because everybody is talking about manifestations and everybody is like, oh, I have done my visual boards and I am ready for the new year. I set my goals, and yet they do not materialize. And most of what goes into the vision boards, they just are not materialized. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about what makes your manifestations work and what makes your manifestations just wishful thinking. Because there's science behind it, and then there is a fascination behind it. We're going to start talking about it. If you're ready, you may want to take notes, and you may literally want to watch this in a very slow motion, because it's very important what I'm going to talk about. All right. Are you ready? You ready? Let's go. So I want to look at manifestation in terms of what is going on in the universe. So let's break it down. We have the cosmology, the cosmic structure of the universe, and we have the quantum physics, the smallest scale of the universe. If you know anything about quantum physics, you may have heard about the Schrödinger's cat analogy by Erwin Schrödinger. He is a physicist, and then he is working on understanding the quantum mechanics. And he puts out a test, and then he goes and talks about the cat in the box is both dead and alive at the same time, because the observation of that infinite possibility is what makes reality happen. And there goes the debate about it. And then almost 100 years passed as of now, almost a century later, we are still debating what that means. Because how can you put a cat in a box with the poison? Yeah. That's the detail. Why would the cat would be dead, right? If it is not in the box together with the poison. So the cat is in the box with the poison. So that's why the possibilities are cat ate the poison, so it's dead. The other possibility is cat did not touch the poison, so the cat is alive. Those are all the possibilities, because we live in endless, infinite possibilities universe, and therefore every possibility is possible. The same token, if you look at it the same way, if your observation is determining what is real, like what's really going on in the box, if the cat is alive or if the cat is dead already, it's only the observation of it. What observation means then is you put your conscious focus, your attention, and you are present in that moment. What present means is that your consciousness, your entire being, your aura, your subatomic particles, and yes, your frequency is there. So when you put your frequency in there, then you are bringing that frequency, your focus, your attention, and your determination from the higher levels of creation, you're putting it there. So if you believe that it is going to be dead, it's going to be dead. If you believe that it is going to be alive, then it's going to be alive. That is the frequency. Here's the kick. If you believe that the cat would be alive, but you say that the cat is dead, what you believe because of the frequency alignment is going to reveal itself in the 3D reality. Why? Let's now chunk down in my language. Let's go down to the subatomic particles of what is really going on when we believe in something. When we believe in something in our physical vessel, we are vibrating at a certain frequency. And that frequency creates this magnetic field around it. That's what the quantum field is all about. There's quantum field. And that magnetic field attracts whatever you are radiating in terms of its frequency. Think of the universe as the melody of life, and you have all the notes, and every note represents your frequency. And that frequency is vibrating because you have, well, what do you have? What is the smallest scale? It's not your atom. You have subatomic particles, you have electrons, you have protons, neutrons, but even inside your electron, there are photons. There are particles of light and waves of light. That is the biophotons that we are all made up of. It's all vibration of light frequencies. Those are called photons, okay? So when we have photons inside the electron, that's just, what is that? It's light. It is a frequency of light. What kind of frequency it vibrates is literally about the attraction that you have in your aura, in your field. You got that part? Yes? Okay. I'm going to move on. So there is this numerical number of your attraction. When you attract that numerical number to yourself, you create a geometry, you create a shape. And that is what you do with your social relationships, starting with yourself. Let me now break it down. So I hope we are all on the same page up until now, because I'm about to go even deeper, because I am now going to go into the periodic table. The periodic table is fascinating. I have been studying it as part of my doctorate degrees, my research. I studied the metaphysical science of consciousness, and that science included everything. Sometimes I even went into the periodic table, trying to understand the structure of the elements, the structure of the universe, and how those electrons would shape the tangible reality. And that's why I'm going to go down to the periodic table, and I am going to give my favorite example. In 2013, when I became a speaker for the first time in my career, my keynote was about becoming authentic. And I used the example of sodium and chloride becoming one, uniting as a union, and sticking to each other eternally. Little did I know that it was actually me tapping into my cosmic wisdom from the source intelligence and realizing that in order for you to attract and manifest everything, you really needed to become one within yourself. This is the union of the self. This is the union of different parts that we have within, and the masculine and the feminine energies. And then here's how I'm going to break down the sodium chloride, what we know as salt, and why salt has anything to do with your manifestations. What a concept, right? So that's exactly why I want to talk about it, because it's really unheard of. It's just my mind. I just love looking at life this way because it makes sense to me that way. If you are geeking about the mechanics of the universe like me, you're going to love it because I have a point. Literally, I have my method to my madness. Watch out. When you study sodium, you see sodium is this feminine beauty. She has 11 protons and 11 electrons with only one electron in its outmost shell, meaning there's only one lonely electron just like hanging around its orbit. Meaning it feels so incomplete. I mean, think about it. There's just like one dangling thing that is just like orbiting around you, right? It's just like you have this one electron desperately wanting to give because it's just only one. Remember the law of determination in the periodic table? It requires 8 electrons to come together to unite and form another entity. That is the transmutation. That is the transcending. That is the transformation at the subatomic levels. So sodium has this just one electron that she wants to let go. She wants to release so desperately, right? And what happens is it just gives out this frequency of incompleteness. Look at that. So as you listen to me, please ask yourself this question. What is the frequency that I am vibrating? What is the level of magnetic field I am creating around myself, not even realizing that I am doing that? Because I bet sodium has no clue what she's doing, right? She's just being herself. But she has that one dangling electron. She can't help it. It's her nature. It's written in her DNA. Just like that. You have it written in your DNA. If you have that dangling electron that you want to give, you are a giver. You can't help it. I'm a giver. I can't help it. My human design is a 2-5 profile. What does that mean? Like a 5 is a savior. A 5 is the heredit. It's just a leader, a savior, wants to just go out and save the world, just like the Wonder Woman. And that's why I resonate with Wonder Woman so much. What is your archetype? What are you radiating out to the universe with your frequency? Now, I want you to think about it because I'm now going to move on to the other side, the chlorine, okay? Because when they combine sodium and chlorine, they make sodium chloride. That is the salt. So that's the story of the beautiful, gorgeous, and giving sodium, right? So when we look at chlorine, he is the opposite. My goodness, he has 17 protons, 17 electrons with 7 electrons in its orbit, the outermost shell. And guess what he is all looking for? He is so explosive. He's poisonous because he is so hungry for that one missing item that whatever it touches, it just literally destroys the source, not intending so. It's just in its nature because it's hungry. It just wants to become one within itself, but it's missing just one electron. It has 7, but it needs to become 8. So that's why in numerology, 8 is the number of infinity. Because when at the subatomic particles, when the electrons are 8 in total from both parties, especially at the ionic level like sodium and chlorine, where sodium is like desperately looking to give and where chlorine is desperately looking to receive, something explosive happens in the universe. That is the alchemy. That is the alchemical transmutation of energy. You know what happens? They literally exchange energy, just one electron. Sodium gives just one electron to chlorine and they get married. And that's an eternal marriage. They become one. They let go of their self and then they both unite. And so the union becomes the new self. The union is what we know is as the salt, the crystalline salt, which is super hard to change in nature, to destroy. It's almost indestructible because it's crystalline, because that is how the universe works. The ionic bond is where everything locks in eternity. When I studied this, when I realized this was what was happening, you know what I also did? I also researched the sacred geometry behind this ionic union. I found out that this union creates the octahedron, that is the cube in the universe. As you know, that's the strongest geometrical form in the universe, which is also the 0 point. The 0 point is in physics, is where everything is possible, infinite possibilities. So now we can go back to the Schrödinger's cat and connect that, because in the infinite possibilities where we are in the cube, the void, then there are all kinds of possibilities. And the frequency that you give out is something that you carry inside your core, your essence, your soul essence. And your soul is not something different than you. It's not like, oh, I have a soul. Let's correct that. You do not have a soul, my shiny minds. You are a soul who has a human body, who chose a human vessel to experience the physical reality in the three-dimensional planet Earth. Boom! There, I said it. I just revealed my entire 15-year research about consciousness wanting to experience itself through you. And that consciousness is that quantum field. That consciousness works in frequency. The universe, the consciousness, the supreme intelligence, the high power, it doesn't speak English or Turkish or Spanish or Japanese or Chinese. It speaks frequency. Therefore, what creates your reality is not your thoughts, is not your actions, is frequency. Frequency first, actions second. It's your frequency. If your frequency does not match your actions, if you do everything, but if you don't believe in it, the lack of frequency in that belief is just not going to trigger the mechanics of the universe. Like, look at the subatomic particle levels. I'm just breaking it down to you. It's just not going to work. Hope it serves the clarity that you have been wondering about, because that's how I understand the world. And then I know some of you are geeking out about the mechanics of the universe just like I do, because you want to manifest. You want to create the reality that you want to live. And then as I now circle back to my own introduction now, why I was able to create the life that I am enjoying so much right now is because I chose peace. And that's another part of manifestation, the frequency. Did you know that the ionic bond of sodium and chloride, it actually happens at the lowest frequency, meaning like no friction. They all become one. They transmute, they transcend. And that is called the lowest energy level. The lowest energy is peace. For the subatomic particles, for sodium and chlorine, they care about being peaceful together. And guess what? That's exactly what you need to care about within yourself, to become one within yourself, to have peace within yourself. Ironically, peace is the lowest level of energy for subatomic particles. For humans, for us, peace and bliss is at the highest level frequency. When you look at it from the map of consciousness, you see that peace is about 10 to the power of 600, and bliss is even about 10 to the power of 700 hertz. There are like very high frequencies for us, for our human vessel, because to the human vessel, the human aura, the frequency is so different than the subatomic levels, right? As you can imagine, subatomic levels, they're kind of like spinning almost like at the speed of light. It's so fast, right? So when they go to the speed of light, there's no time. But that's just super fast. For us, that would be too much, right? So that's why it's in between different dimensions, different realities, different possibilities, different universes. Okay? I hope you're getting it, because that's exactly how I am visualizing the spinning of the particle. The moment it does not spin that fast anymore, the moment it chooses to land, it's kind of like denser in its speed, then it becomes a particle. Why? Because it is now observed, it's interacting with another level of consciousness, with another level of frequency. It's interacting with it. And so it's just choosing a point, a local point in time and space. It's just landing there. And that's what consciousness does. Consciousness creates. Consciousness is nothing but frequency. You can measure your level of consciousness, and your level of consciousness is 1000% tied to your human emotions. That's why emotional intelligence is the way to go. Emotional intelligence starts with accepting your fear, alchemizing your fear, and rising above it with the frequency of courage. That's the whole story behind manifesting at the quantum levels. Why sodium chloride and the story of salt is the legacy you need to carry. That's literally how I look at it. And that's why I created my first keynote speaking around sodium chloride, sodium and chlorine coming together, becoming one, and then salt keeping that legacy. I mean, think about it. A salt then cares about pepper, right? And then you look at the salt and pepper, they're always together. I wonder why. No wonder why salt and pepper, they also represent eternal union. Have you looked at it that way? It sounds like a metaphor, like an analogy. It's not, you guys. This is the reality. This is the physics of creation, and this is the physics of manifestation. It is what it is. So I'm just telling you. So I know that you're going to enjoy. Some of you are really going to enjoy this. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts about this, because obviously this is my look, my worldview, and the way that I understand life. But I know my intuition, my wisdom, my source wisdom is the truth, because I can break it down with science. So I would love to hear your thoughts again. So please share in the comments. And thank you for watching. If you are interested in improving your emotional intelligence, and because you can certainly start there, work with your emotions and improve your frequency as you vibrate at a high frequency of love and peace and oneness, then you're going to manifest everything that you desire and even beyond that. And that's what I would love to help you with. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep shining your light.
Go galactic.
Go galactic. Go galactic.
Then you're in the right place. Let's go, let's go.